Yeah, we suck right now. The culture is actually like, I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from the pick sixes.
As the new NFL season officially begins with the start of free agency, there are unfortunately some things we must go over. New rules. As with most things the league has done, it's allegedly meant to improve the game, but some of them have led to more controversy than not. One of these changes that totally won't cause this is the banning of the hip drop tackle. Any infraction called by officials will now be 15 yards and an automatic first down. Another judgment call penalty in a league plagued by them. Oh, wonderful. The replay booth can now review instances of roughing the passer and intentional grounding. But knowing how well the pass interference reviews went, my hopes aren't high. What could be ironically useful are the new kickoff rules. They had to do something about them. The kickoff had been relegated to nothing but touchbacks for the most part. If you watch the XFL this past year, there'll be a slightly modified version of them. The kicker kicks off at his 35-yard line, and the kickoff special teams line up at the opposing 40. All but two players on the return team line up at the 35-yard line, not to move until the ball is received by a returner. The goal for the kicking team is to hit it in the landing zone, between the 20 and the goal line. If a ball lands or goes out of the end zone for a touchback, the ball is spotted at the 30-yard line. If it goes out of bounds, it's spotted at the 40 like it was before. Onside kicks also must be declared, thus eliminating surprise onside kicks. We'll definitely be complaining about these things in the future, but their newest gift to us comes with 2 games on Christmas. Wednesday football is back after a 4-year hiatus. The NBA is seething in the corner. Make or break. This offseason is a surprisingly critical one for the Eagles. It's the forced introspection of a collapse that shattered their dreams of revenge. It's the somber farewell to legends of the Team Eternal. Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox have ascended to a higher plane of existence. Probably literally, as they'll soon be in the team's Hall of Fame. And perhaps Canton, too. Landon Dickerson might someday rise to Eagles Hall of Fame status. With a huge extension incoming, it proves that interior alignment can also be paid. They'll need him to block for their newest running prize. His name is Saquon. You may have heard of him when he was running all over them with the Giants. And now he's theirs. If he can stay healthy, it'll be a great addition. But there's a reason why New York was okay with letting him go. There is a player a New York team didn't want to leave, though. That's Bryce Huff, a pass rushing specialist who emerged in a big way. Devin White's also here to hopefully revive himself in the linebacking position after last season. Good God. Brendan Graham's back for his 15th season here in the meantime. Hassan Reddick will not, as he's a Jet. There's also Chauncey Gardner-Johnson returning to the fan base he once called cancer. And money talks, baby.
Philadelphia Eagles select Quinyon Mitchell, defensive back, Toledo.
Figures that a team that needs anything resembling reinforcements in the secondary would have their pick of any on the board. Corner didn't go until this point. What a strange coincidence. Quinyon Mitchell should be the heir apparent to Darius Slay and James Bradbury, and it's absolutely critical that a transition plan's in place. Roseman was pretty damn busy this past weekend, wheeling and dealing to tie a draft day record as an NFL day trader. But at least wide receiver is secure. A.J. Brown was paid once, and he's been paid the big bucks again. The rest of the NFC East is out here quoting the Big Lebowski. I hate the Eagles, man. The mood in Philly is quite sour. Last year's impeccable collapse into a tush-push spiral of hell as the Eagles hit a breaking point. That's what happens when you trust your defense to Matt fucking Patricia, but what do I know? Life without Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox will be tough. And their greatest strength and so-called cheat code might be compromised, but it means nothing if Jalen Hurts is unhappy. They threw him a lot of money, yet he lacked the explosive numbers of his breakout. Rumors have it that the relationship between him and the clown running the show have been compromised. Means Sirianni's flaws became unbelievably apparent over the past year. And if push comes to shove, Howie Roseman will cut bait with Nick so quickly you could call it Devontae Smith's sporty time. Getting a blue chip back in Saquon should help him out if he's healthy, but the question lies in the defense. Can the secondary stay healthy, and can it not be repeatedly burned like James Bradbury was one-on-one? I'm looking right at that linebacking core. Devin White, it'd be awful nice of you to get back to 2020 form. For all of Southeastern PA's sake. As you can tell, things are a bit less linear than in the past. New suitors are eager to stake the claim from the usual suspects. But the ones at the top will only relinquish such honor from their cold, lifeless hands. I think this year is a little of both. The NFC East has always been a conference that changes hands every year, so the Eagles will reclaim it for themselves. As for the NFC North, different story. I say Detroit reclaims it, but a few teams are hot on their tail. The NFC South, the conference we wish could be erased, goes to Atlanta simply by no Arthur Smith. And the NFC West, barring horrific injury, will be San Francisco's to lose yet again. Wildcards are a much trickier guess. Yet I believe that Green Bay, Dallas, and Chicago take them. There are more than a few teams that I consider for these 3 spots, so I'm not dismissing them at all. But the NFC's just weird like that. It'll probably be wonkier than I expect. Bienvenido al Brasil, donde las canciones de campo sean pésimas, mas ninguém pode noticiar desde que el baño o Twitter o Marcesio de red, porque é transmitido exclusivamente no Peacock. Agora no sexta-feira, note devido a uma brecha no Sports Broadcasting Act de 1961. Este deslegigo como o inferno na Filadelfia está sentido a ira. Tardas na focaldas estado arruinado seus grandes planos do lucubriado essas coisas estos sombrias. Alguém tentou desligar os Eagles e depois ligá-los novamente? Funcionado para os Chiefs no ano passado. E boas notícias, funcionou para a Filadelfia. Sob o poder de sequanelas derrubaram o martelo tanto para a defesa dos Packers quanto para os Giants por desaloia. Green Bay pensou que escapou da defesa de Vanilla Joe Barry, mas não conseguiu matar a dia. Tantas oportunidades perdidas e chances de retorno que pode pensar a carreira a janeiro de novo. Uma carreira e paralisou enquanto a Philadelphia corre em círculo sorrido de les no final. Uma derrota tão dolorosa quanto você pode imaginar. Você acha que isso é ruim o suficiente? O que você está ouvindo agora é o desespero e a angústia de um estado inteiro. A saúde love é tão grave que os moradores de Wisconsin estão contrabandeando malote de Illinois aos montes. Não poderá haver uma vuelta de temporada pior do que essa. Agora Green Bay está marcado como destino pior que a morte. Péssima atual de quarterback. The real first home game for the Eagles. Not that god-awful Brazilian shit like last week, but some red, white, and blue-blooded motherfucking football. This is pig skin in the raw, slathering it all over your body naked and covered in oil. It's not pretty, it's not attractive, and it's certainly not watchable, but when Philly wants blood, they'll squeeze every last drop of it out of their opponents. Ignore C.J. Gardner-Johnson insulting Kobe's legacy, that's unimportant. What is the fact that the Eagles will crush, maul, maim, and tush-push their way to wins. Fighting and clawing for every inch of football field. And there will be no mercy to those that stand in their way. As the crowd cheers this turnover on downs, the life force is being sucked out of a failed franchise. Sorry, Falcons, but the only reward for your overhaul is the same old shit as before. Only a brick wall could stop you. Its name is the... Saquon dropped it. One of the best running backs in the game dropped a dump-off pass. A catch that would have sealed the win, and his Giants' ways emerged. A 7th grader could have made this catch. Of course that happens and prevents a quick segment. Of course it does. I don't need to do anything else. Philly kicks a field goal to go up by 6, but we now have to go back to when Nick Sirianni got greedy and didn't take the fucking points in the first quarter. This is why they matter, kids. Because if they played it safe, they're up by 2 scores. Now we get past sins coming back to haunt them. Who am I kidding? This is Atlanta. They aren't gonna collapse. Monday night Kirk Cousins was a meme back in the day. The Eagles surely won't cocoon into soft zone prevent defense and allow the Falcons endless tracks of yardage until this... Oh. Vic Fangio's in charge of this D. That's his kryptonite. Wait, someone do a memory flush. Oh no, they're not gonna have time to reboot.
Cousins looks right, has a man! Touchdown, Drake London!
Wow. It's like millions screamed out in horror before drowning in cheese whiz. The avian flu spread from falcon to eagle, and its major symptom is choking. Philly literally pulled in Atlanta. One of the finest falconings we've seen since days of Quinn. An easy win ripped from their hands out of hubris at the final moment. I figured Baltimore or Dallas was the biggest embarrassment this week, but man, did Monday night save the best for last. This calls for a special honor. Couple Lol Cow of the Week. Congratulations, Philly, you've learned abso-fucking nothing after last year's collapse. It couldn't have happened to a better fuckwit in charge of the team. What's that, Nick? You're throwing Jalen under the bus when he did nothing wrong? Bitch, you made the goddamn sandwich! You should be pumping gas at the Sunoco and Camden, you fucking clown. Don't give me this shit when you fail at the basics of your job. This team's incompetence just bailed out Atlanta's season. They gave Dallas fans a bailout for their shitty performance. Nick Sirianni is a fucking hack. This game proved it repeatedly. A game I was expecting to be a shootout devolved into the football equivalent of cancer. The Saints were done early. It happened the moment Derek McCoy went down with injury on the first drive. After that, Philly's defense put a surprisingly hot unit in a vice grip with blitzes ahoy. There was nothing for the most part. So why is this anywhere close? Nick Sirianni. The Eagles wanted to secure a game achievement for the most self-destructive plays in 60 minutes. In the red zone, Jalen's gonna earn his keep by throwing a terrible pick. Don't think that's all. Here's a fumble in Saints territory to add to it. What about getting greedy and not taking points to tie before half? That was bad enough. Go for it again in Saints territory. Shockingly, they failed again. And add to all of it with a blocked punt. If it weren't for the Saints doing the same stupid aggressive shit and Saquon being Saquon, this would be more embarrassing than it already is. Yet to add more grease to this fire, Devontae Smith was knocked out with a nasty concussion. All of Philly now wants Peyton Turner hanged outside of Independence Hall. This defense can't hold forever. And Nollins kicks a field goal to go down 1. So why not finally use Jake Elliott after getting a Milan chair on the sidelines? By making him try a 60-yarder? Let me say a term you should be using soon, Nick. Please pull up to the first window. And Darius Slay was slain in battle too, so it's gonna make it harder. Bad news. The Saints offense finally did something. A touchdown to a wide-open Chris Olave. Horrifying. This game shouldn't be anything resembling a loss. But then we remember that Philly threw everything in the luck attributes.
Trying to get some of it back. They'll get plenty. Dallas Scott is wide open. Down the sideline. Inside the 10. First and goal for Philly.
I don't think the Saints intended that to be a 60-yard pass, but they'll take it. The high-end talent bailing out idiotic decision-making from a cloud. What a glorious day. New Orleans, with chances to prove themselves among the elite, can't get it done and lose one of the more frustrating games they've had in a bit. Wow, Eagles, I'm so proud of you. You barely scraped by a team you should have crushed by at least 20. Jalen Carter and CJ Gardner-Johnson are out here shit-talking nonstop when this team is lucky to even be escaping with a win. This team is becoming more and more unlikable as time passes. And the head of the snake is the fool in charge of the team. Fire him. Now. It's the only way things improve. Imagine after the utter ass-whooping the Bucs put on Philly last January, Nick Sirianni would have had his team dialed in to maintain divisional supremacy. Don't worry, I've got jokes for days. Mainly what the Eagles allegedly called an offense here. Tampa Bay came for blood and got more than their fair share. Philly didn't get any offensive yards for the first quarter and a half. Yeah, you're without your two best wideouts, but why not use Saquon in some fashion? Be better than Jalen Hurts going on his famous Jameis odyssey. Baker Mayfield just took their team logo and wiped his ass with it. After one of the ugliest wins in about a week, Eagles' victory chose to become an endangered species. Sirianni the clown had his men so prepared for battle that they charged headfirst with a bathrobe and slippers. All but asleep and dead on the first charge. Slaughtered at their own game. Oh, they weren't ready, you say? No fucking shit! Tampa Bay, you have your bounce back game. Well done on putting these guys back in their place. I demand that both of these teams are handed L's on the day. One team is dead in all but name, the other might as well be with how they've been playing. Philadelphia is a shithole. Surprisingly not the city, but the Eagles are rivaling the Phillies for fucking up. A team with this much talent should not be struggling this much against a bottom feeder. Despite besting them in both talent and production, the Eagles are making this much closer than it should be.
Ready.
A.J. Brown might be back, but life ain't easy being Kelly Green. Blocked field goals for touchdowns? You bet Cleveland's converting those. The fans justifiably want Sirianni's head. Is your offense constipated? Just take some laxatives, it'll free up the head coach clogging your intestines. Philly's saving grace is in their opponent. The Browns can't offense. At all. They've only scored once in their last 29 drives. every match against the AFC East lost. You'd think things would be long overdue for change, but Cleveland's simply going to keep their heads in the sand. No, Deshaun's not the problem here. We may barely move the ball and Deshaun's a complete liability, but it's definitely not Watson. Trust us. I'm supposed to applaud Philly for barely beating a joke franchise? You got bailed out by high-end talent and you know it. Yet that fucking hack Sirianni's out here chirping the fans on the sidelines like he won anything worth a damn. The Eagles are at home. Buddy, you're lucky you're not serving them dollaritas at fucking Applebee's. And trotting out your kids as a shield from criticism during the press conference, too. That's pathetic. Nick, you're definitely a fine locale of the week for your poor imitation of a clown. The clown can be funny. You're just aggravating. Get back to making my fries. The Giants chose Danny Derps over Saquon Barkley. Let the record show that for time eternal. Despite the fact that he was the main reason they made the playoffs in 2022, the Giants faithful serenade him with a chorus of boos. Saquon didn't expect to be booed. He went to a division rival. What did he expect? This apparently caused instincts to tick. He took it personally. If New York is gonna let him go for nothing, he'll do everything in his power to make them regret it. Nick Sirianni remembered he was in his arsenal. 176 yards on the road to expert trolling. That's all they needed. Philly's defense did the rest. Daniel Jones only gets to die. Literally. No Andrew Thomas means he has no one to block for him. He'll get sacked 7 times and suffer ritual humiliation as the modern-day Brown. Things getting so bad that Drew Lock got thrown in there for an entire quarter. You can say it was for a spark, but it's okay. We know Danny Derps is awful. The Eagles simply reminded you of it as they win easily. Philly not playing down to competition? What a strange feeling. Magic run of easy opponents is over, Bengals. There are no Deshaun Watson or DTR anchors to hold your opponent down this week. You get Philadelphia. And while Nick Sirianni does his best to gift opportunities to his adversaries, Zach Taylor equals him in the idiocy department. Or maybe it's just because the Eagles are significantly better in terms of talents. Probably that. Since he will fight and claw for every inch they can, but come the second half, the Eagles simply turn on the jets and fly. Turns out you need an elite running back and a strong O-line in this new age of football. Saquon's really damn good. The Bengals don't have anything close to him. Joe Burrow does all he can, but without a defense to stop anything, this jungle's going through deforestation. Want the secret to beating Cincy? Play them at their home. They haven't won there all year. If they lose to the Raiders next week, it's Paycor Stadium indeed. Philly reasserts themselves while dancing through a bajillion raindrops. It says something when a team is 5-2, yet no one thinks they're playing anywhere close to potential. They've won 3 straight to be fair, but this is the soft underbelly of the schedule. Take advantage of it. I feel like everyone who watched this dog shit lost today. Not for what the Eagles did on the field, but how Nick Sirianni nearly mangled what should have been an easy win at every damn turn. It's fucking Jacksonville. They're run by literal clowns. Yet Philly's coached by one. We can't even talk about the outstanding feats done on the field of play. Saquon's out here pulling off bullshit you can't do in Madden, and they're still fucking it up. Thank your friendly neighborhood Sirianni. You're up 10-0, and Peterson decided to be a moron and go for it at his own 40. They predictably fail, so the answer is for Nick to counter with his own idiocy. Going for it on a 4th and 3. Failed too. The fortunate thing is that Trevor Lawrence is stagnating, and the cons care more about AEW than their team. Saquon's a god and scores a touchdown, so they go for 2? We're gonna go up by 3 scores with a PAT, you fucking moron. There was no reason to do this. There's also no reason to worry as the Eagles march down the field yet again and score a touchdown. Know what happens when you fail the first 2-point conversion? You have to fail it again due to the pass fuck-up. You think it's fine, you say? The problem is that things tend to compound. And not only after a Jags touchdown, but a fumble recovery by Trayvon Walker to drive not only Philadelphia, but the rest of the football world insane. 1-score game. Give it another drive and things go off the rails. The tush push isn't working, so Sirianni just breaks and overthinks every damn thing. Just kick the fucking field goal from there, my dude. I can only say that he absolutely hates Jake Elliott, because the next time they score a touchdown to go up by 2 scores, they try for a 2-point conversion because they were down by 12. They fail. Know what would have prevented it? Kicking the fucking extra points. Of course, Jacksonville scores a touchdown to troll us all instead of this being an easy segment because fuck us all. Make it a 2-score game. Well, they didn't try a field goal when there were easier shots, so why not try a goddamn 57-yarder and miss? It's the fucking Saints game all over again. Sirianni's pissed away at least 9 points and learned absolutely nothing. The bums in the crowd could do a better job.
Now Jacksonville can commit grand larceny like the Falcons did, and Nick's the only person to blame for it. Oh great, now the Jags can pretend they're still relevant instead of a cow being slaughtered. Just cue the music.
Lawrence has time, looking for Johnson, and it's picked off! Jacoby Dean!
I don't care that the Eagles won. Fire Nick Sirianni before he steps foot in that locker room. He and Dougie P can take the same bus to Clown Town. I think a Greyhound bus is leaving in about 15 minutes too. Be thankful that high-end talent bailed out his incompetence yet again. They'll pretend to be shocked when they try the same shit against real teams and get their asses handed back to them on a platter. God, fuck this team. Wasting all this talent like this. Injury aside, I have tremendous news for you, Dallas. You get to play the Eagles. And they aren't interested in playing down to competition today. Philly's gonna strip you so your skin feels the piercing cold wind. And then they'll make you walk in shame. Like in 2020, losing Dak showed you he's the only thing making this offense run anything. The only running now is in fumbles and fuck-ups, because it certainly isn't with the whopping 49 net passing yards. The Eagles will expose the fraud. Can you even call it a fraud if your team just sucks? Behold your new savior, Dallas. Trey Lance has emerged from years of slumber to get real experience. He instantly throws a pick into double coverage. Put him back in. He's not cooking. Feel bad for a few of the players, but not the team itself. It's above our pay grade. I only have one thing to say after this slaughter. Don't you dare try to ask Jerry to put curtains over the stadium windows. Damn cancerous divas demanding protection from the sun's glare. What do you want him to do? Take the stadium and push it somewhere else? And the moon would take over the glare. You seriously expect logic from stupid fans and journalists? This is Thursday Night Football. Not any of that pesky offensive showcase like we had last week. It's grind time. And it's flesh on metal grinding. Painful and prone to infections. Perhaps Washington themselves are infected. Their offense had nothing. Jaden's visibly injured and Cliff was out here playing checkers all game. Vic Fangio and the Eagles defense read through every telegraphed move. So should be an easy Philly win, right? You know what team this is? Now with that inconsistent offense and Jake Elliott, the moment they finally use him, he proceeds to miss nearly every damn kick. 7 points erased due to an inaccurate leg. It's an ugly game and Washington's pushing for position. Down by 2 and charging. It's 4th and short near their red zone in the 4th quarter. They go for it. The play was dead when the ball was snapped. What the hell, commies? A field goal would have gotten you the lead. Did Sirianni do some Freaky Friday shit or something? Just like that, the momentum pendulum swung hard. Turns out Saquon's pretty goddamn good at running the ball and Washington doesn't have a run defense. Off the cliff you go, commies. Even worse, we learned nothing. The Eagles are once again making this harder than it should be and have to be bailed out by elite talent. If Quinn and Cliff aren't absolute morons, this might have been a different game. Fuck steak dinners. Give that defense an entire cow each. They need to feast with the carry job they did tonight. See, Eagles, this is why I was pissed with you for most of this year. Because I know what you're capable of. Look at what they did against the Rams. Look at how they took on a team in a must-win situation and dismantled them while barely lifting a finger. Philly flocked to SoFi to win the crowd battle, and they more than won the game. They proved themselves as a higher-tier franchise than the middling group that tried to face them. Let them have the illusion of competitiveness in the first half. They'll rip them to shreds when the veil's lowered. God, Saquon is such a fucking monster. He alone can carry worlds with his legs without breaking a sweat. And that's not even considering his efforts with Philly. Over 250 yards rushing against what was supposed to be a formidable defense. 300 all-purpose yards. This is why they signed him. And he's more than thriving in his new home. An Eagles win flying at full potential and Giants fans copium with letting Barkley go? It was near perfection. Even Sirianni couldn't botch this superiority. There's only one reason I say it was near perfection. And that's Brandon Graham. He's probably played his last snap in the NFL. That's the cost of a season, unfortunately. To make an omelet, you need to break some eggs. We were robbed of good old-fashioned AFC North football earlier, so we'll get it in more than spirit here. The Battle of the Birds may as well be a rivalry game. A test of strength and endurance forged in the fires of hell.
There can be only one champion in such a brutal skirmish, and that would be the Eagles. They straight up out-muscled Baltimore, suffocating them with raw power and might alone, proving Philly as a legitimate Super Bowl contender, facing off against an elite offense and laying them to heel all game. 8 straight wins. Nothing stops this train. Not even Baltimore. They just do that to themselves. This game merely reinforced every narrative about the Ravens, struggling mightily to outmaneuver strong defenses. More on the offense going mute in the clutch, unable to stop running backs like Saquon worth a damn. The Eagles were by far the better team, and it leaves Baltimore staring in the abyss of the same damn questions as before. Make Lamar's mom the head coach. She's holding people more accountable than Harbaugh is. Hell, she might rip Justin Tucker to shreds by the time all's said and done. 2 missed field goals and a doinked PAT on the day, adding to a nightmare. You can argue it cost them the game. Justin, the Ravens don't want to do it, but I think it's time we take a walk too. Look at the flowers, man. Just keep looking at them. Ignore the rotting corpse of Cousins next to you. He was so enamored he forgot to eat. It's that time of the year again. When the playoffs start to peek into the picture and we discuss the scenarios at hand. The NFC's a bit tighter. The Motor City currently leads the pack, but Philly's hot on their tail. The division ranks are pretty safe otherwise. Seattle and Atlanta hold claim to some very weak conferences this year. That means Minnesota and Green Bay have the potential to feast if the cards fall right for them. Washington got off a cold streak and comfortably hold the final seed in the meantime. At 6-6, the Bucks, Cardinals, and Rams still have a shot, especially in their divisions. Meanwhile, San Francisco, Dallas, and New Orleans are clinging on for dear life. And I mean it. There's been a lot of disappointment for teams this season, but there's still a chance they remembered the rules.
Don't get eliminated!
Carolina's record's deceiving. They may be 3-9, but the Panthers have been improving rapidly ever since their disastrous starts. Think of it like the Steve Wilkes interim run, but with insanely terrible luck. It showed again versus the Eagles. Marching into a hated coliseum of pigskin, they'll refuse to let Philly walk all over them. Scratch that, I should say they won't let them throw over their heads. Saquon's gonna be Saquon no matter what the Panthers try to do. I'm surprised the Eagles have a minimal passing attack as of late. All that talent on their roster and they're forced to rely on Jalen's feet and Saquon going God mode? They need to find their wings again and fast. The underdog has matched the heavily favored adversary with a little good fortune on their side. We not only laugh at the Eagles, we laugh at the dude who bet $3 million on the Philly money line. But the memories are fleeting. With their legs, Eagles move down the field and secure a touchdown to the loving arms of Grant Calcaterra. Carolina and Bryce will have a chance to respond. And they do. For a short time. They get to field goal range, but the 4th and short fails to convert. Their good fortune has ended. Now Philly has a chance to kill them off. The Eagles burn time, but nowhere near enough. And the tension at the link will reach a fever pitch. Philly's used to it, yet this is a new magic to them. Bryce Young single-handedly overcoming one of the best defenses in the NFL. This really is a new age of football. These boys can't escape the might of Carolina. A drive that started on the 2-yard line being masterfully crafted by a man left for dead. The Necronomicon has very unnatural abilities. And Bryce will show them to you.
Another blitz from Philadelphia. Young leaves it for the Jet, who lunges out and tumbles down. It's ruled incomplete by the near side official. And it is an incomplete pass.
Are you fucking kidding me? It happened to Carolina again? Xavier Leggett, you're a first-round pick. You have to catch that shit. Bryce couldn't have thrown that any better. The chance to be a hero and you muff it like everything else this franchise touches. Like Jonathan Brooks re-tearing his ACL right after coming back, agony that's par for the course. Philadelphia proceeds to gallop away on the legs of Saquon to safety. Such a shame. This could have been true hilarity for all of us to witness. Maybe it happens again in January. 1 month left. Get your tickets to the postseason ready now or be left out in the cold. We know the drill by now. The NFC's road is still undecided. Detroit stays ahead with a crucial win over Green Bay, but Philly and Minnesota are still hot on their tail. Thanks to Atlanta's catastrophic implosion, Tampa Bay has reasserted itself for the NFC South lead. The Seahawks still remain on top of the NFC West, but things could be getting shaky there with a loss on Thursday. A bye week for Washington maintains their 7th seed, yet rivals remain. The Rams and Niners want in. There's a chance the Falcons could get their shit together. Arizona could make miracles happen.
Probably not, but you aren't out of the dance until you hear the dreaded words told to a few teams already. You know them by heart.
Don't get eliminated!
This is going to be a statement for whoever chooses to snag the win in the battle for the Keystone State. Like everything that goes through Pennsylvania, Philly grabs hold of the contest and never lets go. In fact, they imitate whatever is supposed to be a competition and strangles the life out of it early. Complete suffocation by the Eagles in every semblance of play. Tension between Jalen and AJ? Sure as hell didn't feel like it here. The passing attack finally emerged from its slumber against an elite defense on paper. Even with voodoo incantations from the sideline, the black and gold have no damn chance in hell. They try to keep up, but can't. In the end, Najee Harris whiffs on a basic toss play and hands the game off to the opposition. The Steelers weren't winning this, but it was simply the dagger to any hopes whatsoever. They must bow down to the Eagles' magnum opus. A 10-plus minute final drive killing them off for good. Philly simply showed Pittsburgh that they're not only second fiddle in the state, they're a jobber to the stars of the NFL itself. But that's just any given Sunday for the Steelers. As long as there isn't a crucial injury, they can just dust it off and call it a day. Oh, fuck! Looks like it might be a one and done for these boys yet again. 3 games remain. This week was critical in deciphering the playoff formulas, but it doesn't mean that we're anywhere close to a solution. The number 1 seed in the NFC is now a 3-way tie. The Lions still have control, but the Eagles and Vikings are hot on their tail and coming fast. Philly can also claim the NFC East with a win or Washington loss, but the Eagles aren't going to implode, right? The NFC North is a mosh pit, made even more so by the attrition on Detroit. Minnesota or Green Bay could easily take it, but the NFC South is Tampa's to lose. Hopefully they won't choke it away like Atlanta did. The NFC West is between Seattle and the Rams with the Cards and Niners on life support. This division probably gets settled with a Week 18 showdown. The wild cards are all but set and can be officially claimed if Green Bay wins and Washington wins and gets help. The NFC especially is going to be a ride moving forward. Get ready. These words are going to come in handy.
Don't get eliminated!
NFC supremacy's on the line, things can get fucky. And Washington plays the Eagles uncomfortably tight regardless of season performance. The recipe's a duel of fate and fire, crossing paths in multiple dimensions for the purpose of combat. There needs to be a wrinkle in this situation, however. Got to chuck a dart on the billboard of important players and strike them down for the day. It lands on Jalen Hurts. He's been disabled. Kenny Mittens is next man up. Fuck yes. Stunt on these fools, Kenny. I still believe in you, man.
Kenny, no!
This is gonna become a battle. Powers that be have demanded in-division football commence with sheer tenacity. No matter what the Eagles try to do, the commies grab at their leg and won't be shaken off. Washington's gonna keep this tight. And if Philly wants to stake a claim for the number 1 seed, they'll have to earn it. Fortunate thing for them is that they are. The commies keep fucking the ball. Philly does little with them, but if Washington wants to imitate the great leap forward, so be it. Up by 10 in the third, another fumble by Washington makes it a perilous situation. Things are getting a bit too lopsided. Time to throw another dart on the billboard. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, you've been ejected. Let's just say it's because of multiple unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Even when he's getting his helmet launched off his face, talking endless shit hurts the zebra's feelings. And the wheel of discipline awaits. Jaden Daniels also awaits their supposedly elite secondary. Without CJ/GJ, they're being exposed in the raw flesh. Broken coverages, busted plays, the gamut. So what happened to the hype? Big play Slay? Guantanamo Bay? White boy summer? Because it seems to me the only reality is Jaden Daniels pissing on your face. They can't stop him. They're going into a gunfight with Kenny picked off Smitten pistol. This is gonna be trouble. And Washington now is the lead because this defense suddenly can't make a stop. God damn it, Philly. You're gonna have to dink and dunk with Pickett now. Thank the Lord Jake Elliott managed to get his leg aligned in time, but this is way too close for comfort. Oh, thank God Reed Blankenship pretty much ended Washington's hopes and dreams. This is the endgame, boys. Just convert this third down and you're good.
4th down's an option. He'll look to throw. He's good. Smith and struggled and drops.
Drop that? Thought you were done with this shit, Philly. Who cares if you're up by 5? If the special teams unit suddenly implodes and this defense keeps breaking at the seams, anyone can dissect it. They're using the same script they used against Atlanta. I am so damn disappointed in you. Jaden Daniels took Kirk Cousins' power and is having a comeback for the ages. Finish these fuckers, Washington. do it fast.
McLaurin to the bottom of the screen. 2nd and goal. 10 seconds. Daniels fires. End zone. Touchdown. Jamison Crowder.
Jesus Christ. I don't know whether to be in awe of Jaden Daniels or livid at Philly for pissing everything away. Eagles fans are going to blame Kenny for this one for obvious reasons. 3 for 16 on 3rd down can attest to that. We know Pickett's a scrub, but last I checked, he didn't play in the secondary. You lost to a team that had 5 turnovers. How the hell do you do that? The commies ripped your heart out and crushed it like Philly's hopes for a #1 seed. It also grants them not only their biggest win of the year, but all but secures a ticket to January. Still a chance to blow it though, so don't celebrate yet. In due time, the time has come to crunch. We're nearing the finish line, and there's still plenty of positions at the round table to play for. The NFC East is still in play after Philly's shocking upset at the hands of commies, but they aren't gonna blow this, right? But the NFC North and #1 seed are intertwined. Lions and Vikings battling it out in the Great War of Life. Take a guess who plays one another in Week 18. This is where both are probably gonna be decided. A curveball's been thrown into the NFC South. Tampa's loss and Atlanta's win make it all but a coin flip. But the Falcons have tiebreakers, so the Bucs are gonna need help. LA now has firm control over the NFC West, especially since they have tiebreaker. They're gonna need to lose twice and the Seahawks win twice for Seattle to make it. They do play in Week 18 though. Washington's pretty much got the last NFC wildcard spot, so the options are dwindling. Don't be left out in the cold, NFL world, lest you suffer the greatest humiliation.
Don't get eliminated!
Despite the easy stretch for Philly, there's another curveball thrown into the picture. Jalen's still in concussion protocol. Another week of Kenny Mittens will frustrate Eagles fans everywhere. Nah, I'm just kidding, he did well. The Cowboys are down a significant chunk of their key playmakers.
Perfect.
Without their top man under center, Philly made easy work of a hated rival.
Perfect.
Saquon's free from purgatory and galloping to a 2,000-yard season. He's reached his peak as a generational player behind a quality O-line. Between him and a composed Kenny Pickett, it's a cool breeze for the Eagles. Kenny sacrificed himself for the win in the process, so appreciate the NFC's crown in his honor. Even with Tanner McKee, the Cowboys' defense was no match.
Perfect.
An insolent pup brought to heel in hostile territory. But get back in the cage and stay there. Philly is a first-round match to tune up for. This week settled a lot of questions, particularly with seeding in the AFC. The contestants have dwindled to a few, but there are a couple of spots up for grabs. On the other side, the NFC #1 seed and the NFC North are tied up in a Week 18 contest. Vikings against Lions. Winner take all. Loser doomed to a wildcard spot. All or nothing, the best way to go. Meanwhile, the NFC South has been all but assured for Tampa Bay after last week's revelations. However, it's not fully secure. A loss to the Saints combined with the Falcons win gives it to Atlanta. Oh, what a time it is to be a fan. The stakes are higher than ever. And there are 3 words that echo throughout time and space.
Don't get eliminated!
Good news, New York, you did. Fortunately, they weren't facing the god-awful Colts defense, so Drew Lock's magical run comes to an end here. It doesn't for Tanner McKee, however. With nothing to play for and Pickett injured, Tanner reinforces his claim as the most efficient quarterback in the NFL for some inane reason, slinging nothing but touchdowns. Saquon's also resting, so the season rushing record will remain intact. The same can't be said about the Giants and their sanity. This was no contest. Winning one game late is one thing, but winning another would have resulted in riots on the streets. Tell the officers to stand down. Philly simply took them out to solidify their claim for the 2nd seed. That's more than good enough for Shane and Dable to stick around for another campaign. Easy enough. So far, so good. The final stage is set. 14 teams remain and are ready to duel to the death. Only one shall remain. And the defending back-to-back contender receives a first-round bye to recharge their mana points for more bullshit. Gunning for revenge, Buffalo has a shot, but will have to take care of business against Denver first. The Ravens receive another showing of AFC North football. The rivalry with the Steelers will add another chapter after Pittsburgh's near-traditional collapse. Liquid LA usurps the 5th seed at the last moment and will travel to Houston to face an ailing fraud squad. In the NFC, the Lions stand tall, despite missing several limbs and vital organs. Coming in 2nd, Philadelphia controls it and faces a team that's upended such a foe last season. Be careful with Green Bay. I'd also be careful if I were the commies. Tampa Bay's been playing with fire, and in their home stadium, it could be a nightmare. Meanwhile, Minnesota's forced to head to LA for a master versus apprentice showdown. Things are hopefully going to get spicy. Last year's collapse was a wake-up call, living proof that a shitload of offensive talent couldn't just coast through life expecting wins handed to them. Aggression and precision were needed to fulfill their ambitions. Jalen can't do it all. I'd say bringing in one of the best running backs in the game and letting him go ham helps out a ton with that. Saquon's given their offense much-needed balance, despite their passing game somehow vanishing for long stretches at a time. But dude, it's fucking Saquon. Not to mention that defense has done a 180 from this time last year. If you're an offense, you're getting locked up at Guantanamo Bay, by which player depends on who they're fancying. The most loaded team on paper gearing up for a run rivaling the best teams in franchise history. Tush pushing their way to glory one thrust at a time. Losing by 20 last year, they might win a game by 20 this time. If only there wasn't someone that could potentially sabotage the entire operation with his incompetence. Nah, that's probably just my imagination. This season has taken us from football heaven to the depths of unwatchable hell. When there's money to be made, the product does not matter. Yet the playoffs are a different beast. In the end, there can be only two contenders dueling for the ultimate prize. I'm not even gonna try to be optimistic it's gonna be Chiefs versus Eagles. The matchup no one outside those cities want because the football gods desire salt. They're shitposters at heart. Very predictable ones, but I respect the dedication. We all hope for something different, but we said that last year. Look what happened. Regardless, good luck to all teams involved. You're probably gonna need it. Got a prediction right? What the hell? That outcome was supposed to be a jinx, goddammit! There really is no god. Well, let's get the AFC team over with.
We're saved! What's your name, new hero?
It's Titan.
Thank you. Thank you! Titan has freed us!
Oh, I wouldn't say free. More like under new management.
The Patriots dynasty never died. It simply infected a new host. We all drew out a sigh of relief when New England fell to oblivion, yet failed to account for someone else taking their mint. Years of failing to beat them led the Chiefs to an epiphany. They must duplicate their craft. To earn the favor of the gods themselves, they'd have to resort to rather unsavory methods. The arts of unbelievable bullshit and dark magic must be conjured at every turn. This past year, oh my word, Deus Ex Machina was only matched by the whining from all corners of the globe. Myself included. You don't need much in terms of talent when you're getting every break and fortunate outcome possible. No need when the other team consistently fucks up. And it kept going in the playoffs. The Texans will regress. Their cheap parlor tricks are no match for a Spagnuolo defense. Baltimore and Buffalo, those paper taggers, you think they can beat Kansas City? With Patrick goddamn Mahomes under center? Be real. Bills made their own demise repeatedly. Mahomes needs no introduction. He'll just sidearm some throws and engineer drives like Brady before him. From dazzling to peak efficiency, the new Chiefs way. The weapons he has at his disposal are mostly similar. Travis Kelce, Pacheco, Juju. Speaking of Buffalo regrets, Xavier Worthy's here for one reason. Go really fucking fast. The speed that breaks defenses. Hollywood Brown and Nuke Hopkins are here as well. Not playing primary roles, but they do have ones to play in this offense. Brown's been injured most of the year, so that could be why. The key to this offense has always been in the homes in that offensive line. A stout, powerful batch of men that drive holes and rarely miss assignments. Regardless of if everyone says Jawan Taylor keeps jumping snaps. But the secret to this year's success, despite their offensive struggles, has been their defense. Steve Spagnuolo's a master of schemes and situational football. His play calling and blitz packages in the clutch is something to behold. His unit will expose every weakness and soft underbelly imaginable. And this is a group whose only true superstars are Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie. The rest is a chorus of highly trained and organized athletes that know how to perform in any given situation. The names on the back do not matter. All that does is stuffing their opponents with tactical excellence. Their evolution's been impressive. The ways they run their team these days are very Patriots-like. They're not sexy, but highly efficient. And the Chiefs' need to clock will be eaten under a barrage of short passes and deceptive runs. Masters at breaking zone defenses. Well coached, intelligent, cerebral. Why be flashy when you can simply play smarter? Demoralize your opponent to the point of them wanting the sweet release of defeat. But none of that matters because the narrative is set. If ref ball benefits a beloved team, nobody bats an eyelash. If the Chiefs even get a whiff of it, the game's a rig.
great circle of manipulation that's passed down from dynasty to dynasty. And the sultan triggering from fandoms across the league are music to their ears. Decades of lolcowdom and failure have been forgotten. They are now the top of the food chain. A chance at a three-peat is at hand. The first time it'll be done in the Super Bowl era if accomplished. The new villains of the league have arrived. A necessary foil to a league desiring plotlines. Because what's the point of a story if there isn't a bad guy? They'll be shoved in our faces off the field out the wazoo. T-Squizzle, Kelsey podcasts, ketchup on steak, bundle-rooski. That wasn't corny and ill-advised the first time it was played. We yearn for a knight in shining armor to save us, yet their opponent is an evil all their own. Sometimes a chance at revenge can take a while to get to. Look at what happened last year. The Eagles got a false positive in the regular season. They finally defeated their boogeyman. Kansas City had fallen. It was their Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni was taunting fans in the tunnel and became public enemy number one, including in Philly. Like Odysseus defying the gods, that moment was when the collapse happened. The offense struggled, team defense imploded, and their only solution was Matt Patricia. The rest of the league left. They fell to hell, but you have to in order to figure out what your team needs. 2024 was critical. The time had come to load up for a push. Jalen Hurts is a damn fine player under center, but he needed a premium running back to take some of the pressure off. A yin to the yang. A superstar needs to come back home. That man's name? Saquon. Finally free from a shit show in New York to play behind a real offensive line. Fuck, that dude carried an entire team to relevance in 2022. Destroyer of front sevens everywhere and then some. As Barkley gashes defenses across the league, the Giants are clowned repeatedly. And rightfully so. Yet letting him go shouldn't be the main reason for it. The real team to clown is Tennessee. They let A.J. Brown go for pretty much nothing. John Robinson should read inner excellence. It might help him out. Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Kenneth Gainwell. More excellent pieces to make this offense churn. Even if the passing attack isn't anywhere near what it should be. Jalen's been hurt recently, but a few weeks of rest should help out there. Besides, who the hell needs that when you can relentlessly pound the rock? A short yardage situation? Why don't we just take the ball and push it somewhere else? The tush push. Football at its purest. Rewarding those with an excellent interior O-line. You're one of the fools that want it banned, you deserve to never speak about ball again. Who needs Jason Kelsey? It's barely skipped a beat. Speaking of that, who needs Fletcher Cox? That defense has made a complete 180 from last year's Hindenburg imitation. They brought in Vic Fangio to revive it for a reason. A battered secondary and withered linebacking core have been upgraded in the worst possible way. New Orleans, thank you for Zach Bond. You didn't know what to do with him, but here he's an all-pro. The secondary's been vastly improved. From a turnstile to being locked down at Guantanamo Bay. It's either him or experiencing white boy summer with Cooper DeGea. And Reed Blankenship, Big Play Slay, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson are still here. Pick your poison. There's also that front four. Jalen Carter's just gonna wreck everything in his way. Turns out assembling the Georgia National Championship front seven has its benefits. Just a shame that Nakobe Dean won't be able to join them this time around. But Brendan Graham's coming back for the big game.
Unit ready.
And the results have been more than obvious. Dispatching the likes of Green Bay, the Rams, and Washington with some struggles, but they've survived to fulfill their true destiny. It's a shame that they're such a quality team while I have to sit here and get lectured about how Nick Sirianni isn't a clown. Great. I'm eagerly awaiting it. At least it's not the Cowboys. And that's the only benefit to anything. The Eagles' only desire is finishing the job. Kansas City's been a thorn in their side for far too long. Setbacks have hampered their true potential, and now they have another chance. It's a rematch of 2023's fight to the death. Philadelphia's stronger and wiser. The Chiefs have been weathered in the dark arts. The Eagles will be gunning for revenge for a bitter defeat at the hands of a tomahawk chop. Kansas City desires to become the greatest dynasty of all time. The rest of the football world will be rooting for a meteor to hit the stadium. If that happens, parades will line down every city in the nation, big and small. Unfortunately, God's an asshole, which is why we have this matchup once again. We'll all slowly die inside and hope for a really good matchup from these teams. But I implore you to remember the feel-good story. Kenny Pickett's going to the Super Bowl. The only advice I have for Philly, win or lose, Grease the polls. Just do it. Logic need not apply when considering the NFL. You can study all 22 film, analytical charts, and roster construction until you're blue in the face. Philly may have all the talent in the world, but the reality is simple. The Chiefs are going to win this game. Doesn't matter how, it's just gonna happen. I'm smelling some amazing bullshit that'll take place. Andy Reid eats the greatest cheeseburger in the world, and Taylor Swift pegs Travis Kelce with a Lombardi-shaped dildo. I expect nothing less. Make me proud. The refs took it personally, didn't they? The fix was in, we all said. Kansas City was gonna pull off some bullshit and win it with ease. Oh baby, did the scriptwriters throw a twist in this storyline or what? That was a clinic Vic Fangio put on. Relentlessly harassing Casey's offense. And he didn't even have to blitz to do it. Chiefs double magic folded like a house of cards all night long. Belt to fucking ass. Those butt cheeks were beat red after this spanking. The buttholes were gaping and the prostates were bleeding. So much for an offense when it's unable to do a damn thing. Tomahawk chopped right in the sphincter. Patrick Mahomes went from GOAT to the old definition of GOAT. Dude apparently got bedazzled by Bourbon Street and couldn't throw a football. Wildly inaccurate, flummoxed in the pocket, unleashing endless white boy summer on the world. Kendrick Lamar could have spent another 20 minutes dissing him on stage and it would have been more productive than Mahomes in the first half. It's like the Chiefs offense remembered, oh yeah, we're coached by Matt fucking Nagy. Perhaps Nuke Hopkins got paid to take a dive. Seriously, there was no one within 20 yards of him. How the fuck do you drop that pass? People keep saying the Bears should have taken Mahomes over Trubisky. This is how that would have gone for Chicago if it happened. Dude turned into Trey Lance out there. The whole offense melted down on 4-man rushes. Everyone in Buffalo has to be sitting around asking one question. How the fuck did we lose to this? These guys turned into a JV squad against Georgia's national championship team. And now they're champions in the NFL. Kansas City needed a hero in this dark time. His name, Kadarius Toney. His fumble signal didn't light up in the night, unfortunately. We eradicated one cancer and now we face our national nightmare. Eagles fans being unleashed on an NFL world. Nick Sirianni is their ringleader. This man's now immortal. Please kill me now. But while I get irrationally triggered, let us praise the real feel-good story of this game. Kenny Pickett's a Super Bowl champion. Just as I had prophesized when he was drafted. We deserve this NFL season. Now let's never speak of it again.